I'm okay with what you're doing. Like, I know you play video games. Like, I'm okay with that. But I do see a lot of people in your age group that have like totally burned themselves.
Oh yeah.
Because, or even people in my age group where they've replaced like a healthy life with like gaming. And if it's gone that far, and it does go that far with some people, that sucks, you know. Like, I feel bad because, you know, as humans, like, we're supposed to like touch people and like have a girlfriend or boyfriend,
Social interactions.
we're supposed to have that, supposed to have conversations with people in real life.
Right.
You're supposed to like work hard at something and achieve it and mess up. You're supposed to like work real hard and then have something like not pan out. And if you're doing all of that on a video game, it gets very into like the Matrix realm really fast.
Yeah.
And the other weird thing that's crossed my mind as you were talking is the fact that we have all this crazy VR technology and we haven't really used it yet. Like, people aren't really using VR en masse. And I swear it's because it's like one step too far.
It actually hasn't taken the right steps yet. It's still way too early.
Everyone keeps saying that, but dude, it's not. Like, there's so much rad VR stuff that people aren't messing with.
No,
like, tons of it.
They're cool. Yeah, they're super neat, but they're not easily accessible. It's too expensive right now.
Is it? I can afford it. I just don't buy it.
Not everybody has your money, you know?
I think most people can afford like $1,000 for like a VR system. People are buying Xboxes like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, but Xboxes are not $1,000. You know how much an Xbox is now?
I have no idea.
Half of that. Even less.
But for like cutting edge technology, dude, I know lots of wealthy people. None of them have VRs. Or a couple of them do, and the ones that do, they barely use them. Like, what's up with that?
So, have you used VR before?
Yeah.
You have used it? Mm-hmm. What have you done with VR? Like, what was it? Like a specific game that you played, or did you...
just like gaming. Some like, mostly just games. Just like,
so
did some sort of volcano ride once.
So
did some space thing. I don't know.
A proper VR, so an entire proper VR setup will cost you around $6,000 to $7,000. That's including cameras. That's including your computer. That's including the right components in that computer to run VR, because it takes a lot of energy to run VR.
Right.
That includes the headset, motion capture, and everything. It's very costly. It's very, very costly to do VR to the capacity that you want to do it. That's the worst part. You could go to a Verizon store, pick up one of those stupid headset things for your phone for like $30. That's nothing. That's not, that's a 3D perspective of whatever.
Sure.
But actual VR right now, it is way too expensive. It's way, way too expensive because you need components. You need other components that people kind of already have now, but it's just taking that step further.
But why is it so slow, dude? Like, why is it not happening? I don't get it. Because when I first saw it happening, I was like, dude, this is going to explode. And it never did. It just kind of like, in fact, it disappears. I forget that VR exists in the manner that it is.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too with VR. So like I said, I wasn't lying. The prices for these new giant consoles that are coming out for Xbox and PlayStation, they're keeping them under $1,000 for sure. And that doesn't make any sense. Because if you remember when the PlayStation 1 came out, how much was that thing?
I don't know. I just remember I stayed up all night trying to get one.
It's $300.
That's it.
Well, in 91, 92, whatever, for your average layman who wanted a device to sit back and play games, $300. Not bad, right? A couple of years later, you get the PlayStation 2, like $400. Mm-hmm. Still not bad. That's early 2000. Mm-hmm. You have a PlayStation 3 that comes out in 2006, priced at $600.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody lost their shit because nobody wanted to pay that much for a box that they were going to give to their kids.
Dude, I stayed up all night in Chicago trying to get one.
Yeah.
And there was like 1,000 people like running around parking lots in the middle of the night trying to get those stupid things.
Yeah. But the overall general consensus was that nobody wanted to pay that. People still did.
Yeah. Well, people were trying to get them so they could resell them.
Right. The scalping. Right.
What up, Johnny Park?
So, you know how inflation works, right?
Yeah.
I'd hope, right? Yeah.
Of course.
So you would assume that the successor to the PlayStation 3 would cost more than $600, right? Mm-hmm. No, it costs $400.
Well, that's because there was a kind of a battle going on between like more
competition. Sure, competition, and the competition exists everywhere. That's whatever, but competition still doesn't stifle inflation. Those consoles should be worth over $1,200. Those consoles, according to inflation, should be worth that much, but they're not. And it might be because of competition, but I don't think it. I mean, no, it actually.
Well, part of it has to do with technology advancing, and some of the processors are now a lot cheaper.
Sure. So then, what's the argument for video games still being $60 since the 90s?
Oh, that's based on. That's based on just building the product. That's like just art stuff. It's just art.
Art's gone better.
Yeah.
You had the same game from the late 90s worth $60, then now worth $60. You're using brand new technology. You're using massive studios of over 1,000 people working on one title to receive the exact same price for their product since the late 90s. That doesn't make any sense, right?
Well, it's deflationary.
They should be worth upwards of $150 to $200 a game. That's how much, according to inflation.
No, you're right. Like I remember Xanadu was $75, like in the 90s, and that was a ton of money for me. Like I had to do all sorts of crazy stuff to buy Xanadu.
Yeah,
and then it sucked.
There's still $60, $65 for a brand new game. Now they're turning it up to $70, but people are throwing a fit about that because people don't want to pay that much for something that, like I said, to a lot of people, it's a very casual pastime. It's something that they go home to after work and play for a couple of hours and just kind of deflate. Mm-hmm. That's what gaming is to a lot of people. Right. The individuals who play a lot of games, too much games, those are a dime a dozen, to be completely honest. They're much more prevalent and much more common. You'll know these people, but they're out of the 300 million people in the US who play video games, or potentially play video games, half of that number actually play video games. That's how common video gaming is. But for some reason, it's always the over-boasted idea that everybody plays 12 hours a day. Like, no, a lot of people really don't play that much. So you have those same people who don't want to spend that much. So leading into VR, that's why VR is not widely accepted. It's too expensive. Because you're having to spend the exact same amount on a VR headset for the PlayStation. For instance, the PlayStation costs like $500 for the VR. That's as much as the console is.
Dude, I just had an epiphany.
What is it?
It's because people that make the money that could afford it, they're getting their dopamine somewhere else, dude.
Yeah.
So they're not playing damn video games.
What do they need VR for? They got drugs.
They got better stuff, or their work. They're getting it from work.
Or work, yeah.
Dude, when I get home from work, the last thing I want to do is play a video game. I play video games now, and it seems like a job. I'm like, dude, what the dude, it's not fun. Like, I got to jump over that thing and then slide under that thing. No, like that's work. Like, I don't want to do that.
You got to check out God of War.
Sounds like work to me, dude.
It's amazing. It's gorgeous.